right, we are back again with another student loan video. This time we're talking about the terms that you need to know when you take student loans, have student loans, thinking about taking student loans. These are terms you absolutely need to know. Okay, so we're going to start with A. And the two terms you need to know for the letter A for student loans are acceleration and APR. Now, you might be familiar with APR because it's very similar to APR on a credit card. It is pretty much the annual percentage rate of interest that they will add to your loan. Student loans are a little different than credit cards because student loans have compound interest. Now, for acceleration, acceleration is what happens if you cancel or your student loan company cancels the loan and they want a lump sum payment. Usually you will come to an agreement about what type of payment you will be making. It is usually cheaper than the loan balance that you actually have. Two things you need to know about acceleration. You will have to pay taxes on the acceleration that you create with the company because essentially it's like a gift or money that you're getting for free or not having to pay anymore. Besides that, you also know that your credit will possibly take a hit because you are not making the full payment that you signed up for in your promissory note. So those are the things that you need to know. So C, like I mentioned, we have compound interest. We also have consolidation. If you go to my Instagram, shameless plug, you will see the difference between consolidation and refinancing. They do have similarities, but they are very different as well. So consolidation is when you take all of your loans from the multiple companies that you have them from, or the separate loans that you might have taken out for different terms in school, and you consolidate. You bring them all together into one payment. That usually makes the payment cheaper than what you're paying monthly. However, you do usually pay longer for the life of your loan. Okay. Compound interest. What compound interest is they add interest to your loan every single day. So they take the balance that you have, they multiply it by the percentage of the rate that they have set with you, usually between 3 to 14%. If you have federal and private loans, that will vary. And they will add that compound interest daily, which is why when you make your monthly payment, you will see that the next month your principal didn't really change very much because your payment mostly went to the interest payment versus the principal. So making extra payments will help you to bring down that compound interest, and it will help you to bring down your principal in a much faster time. Now, let's go to D. We have deferment and we have delinquency. But deferment is when you essentially can no longer make payments for a period of time. The government will take pity on you and they will stop the payments for a short period of time. Okay, and delinquency, you do not want to be delinquent on your school loans. If you are delinquent on your school loans, not only is your credit taking a hit, you cannot defer or forbear. Okay, you have to be making active monthly payments in order for you to be eligible for deferment or forbearance. If you are delinquent, that means you have missed a certain amount of payments, usually one, and the student loan company is probably going to send you to the credit union, which means you're going to have to deal with that on your credit report for quite some time. So then we have endorser for E. Endorser is another term that the student loan company uses when they need cosigner. Right? So F, like I mentioned, we have forbearance. So forbearance is another option for you to stop your student loan payments. Now, forbearance and deferment, they both show up on your credit report. They do not affect it negatively in a sense, but they will show up. So if you're applying for a home, a car, anything else where they check your credit report, they will see that you have entered into deferment or forbearance. I believe you can forbear for 12 months, so a year. And deferment is 6 months. I might have mixed those up. By the time I edit this video, I will have the answer for you. But one offers you a longer time of non-payment, and forbearance interest billed. So when you are deferred, the government takes care of your loans. When you're in forbearance, the interest keeps adding up. So you will have a bigger balance by the time you go back to your payments, which sucks. Right? So then we go to G, grace period. Many of you right now are graduating. Congratulations. I'm so happy for you. I am proud of you. Class of 2018. My brother graduated this year, so yay for him. Your grace period has just started. So the day you graduated started the clock, the 6-month clock for you to make your first student loan payment. it is in your best interest during your grace period, besides looking for a job or applying if you're going to grad school or whatever, for you to figure out what that monthly payment is and how you're going to make that first monthly payment. If that payment is astronomical and you cannot afford it, it is in your best interest to call the company. Don't run from them. Don't hide. They will find you and your children and your parents' grandparents, right? So call them, let them know you can't make that payment. They will offer you different options. If you have federal loans, they can do income-based repayments or different things. So call them if you see that that payment is $3,000 and you're only making $10 an hour. Okay, right? So we have, I couldn't find an H. Sorry, guys. Okay, interest payments, interest rates, or income-driven repayments. So like I mentioned for grace period, okay, income-driven repayments are only for your federal student loans. They will essentially, there goes Nori. They will essentially take your W-2 to see what you make annually, or you can send in your checks. I think they ask you for 3 checks or 3 months worth of checks to see what you make monthly, and they will set your monthly payment based off of your income. Let's see. Private loans and promissory notes and principal, 3 P's. Okay, the promissory note is what you sign when you take the student loan. Principal is the amount of money that you actually took to borrow to pay for whatever it is that's in school. That's different from the interest that's added to it. So when you make your monthly payment, some of the money will go towards the principal, which you borrowed. Some of the money will go towards the interest, which has been capitalizing and compounding onto your principal. And then we have private loans. So private loans are different from federal loans. Federal are controlled by the government. So the monthly payments, the income-driven repayments, the interest rates, all of that is federal. Private loans are owned by a company, usually Sallie Mae, Navient, or a bank will take your private loans. Are refinancing. So refinancing and consolidation are a little bit different. When you refinance, you're getting a whole new interest rate, usually a much longer time period that you are going to be paying back the loan. So if you're refinancing, you're getting a whole new interest rate, usually to get a lower monthly payment and a lower interest rate. S is for subsidized. So subsidized loans come from the federal loan option. Subsidized means that the government is paying for the interest while you are in school. Yay, thank you, government, right? So when you borrow the $10,000 and you graduate, you will see that you still owe $10,000. Okay, then we get to you, unsubsidized. So unsubsidized school loans suck. Just like all school loans, unsubsidized, the interest starts to capitalize the moment that the loan gets into your hand or the moment that the money is dispersed. So when you borrow $10,000, when you graduate in May of whatever year you graduate, you will see that you owe more than $10,000 already. So the government does not handle the interest. Your best interest during that time period is to pay the interest as you're in school. That's it. That's all I got. Those are the terms that you need to know for student loans, when you have student loans, when you're thinking about getting them, when you already have them. You need to be familiar with all of these things. And yeah, that's it. Bye.